When Billy was very small, he loved pictures. His mother often drew some for him on old pieces of paper. She was very bad at drawing, but Billy enjoyed her pictures and always wanted more. Then, when he was a little older, Billy's mother gave him some pencils and a drawing book, and he began drawing pictures too, but they were never good. When Billy was 5 years old, his mother gave him a small blackboard, some pieces of chalk, and a duster. He liked those very much. One day he was trying to draw a picture of his father on the blackboard. He drew lines and rubbed them out, drew more and rubbed those out too for 10 minutes. But when he looked at his picture, he was not happy. "Well," he said, at least to his mother, "I'll put a tail on it and make it a monkey." Bruce was Australian and worked for a newspaper in Sydney. Then he thought, "I want to see Europe, so I'll go to England and work for a newspaper there for a few years." He flew to London and soon got work because he was good at his job. He lived in a small but comfortable house near London, and he had a small garden. He enjoyed working in it on Saturdays and Sundays. He had nice neighbors on both sides, and then often worked in their gardens on Saturdays and Sundays too, and then they talked and joked together. One day, he was digging a hole in his garden to plant a bush when one of these neighbors came to the fence between the two gardens and looked at Bruce's work. He laughed and said, "Are you making a swimming pool?" "Oh no," answered Bruce. "I'm going home." George is a young man. He does not have a wife, but he has a very big dog, and he has a very small car too. He likes playing tennis. Last Monday he played tennis for an hour at his club, and then he ran out and jumped into a car. His dog came after him, but he did not jump into the same car. He jumped into the next one. "Come here, silly dog." George shouted at it, but the dog stayed in the other car. George put his key into the lock of the car, but the key did not turn. Then he looked at the car again. It was not his. He was in the wrong car, and the dog was in the right one. He's sitting and laughing at me, George said angrily, but then he smiled and got into his car with the dog. 2 soldiers were in camp. The first one's name was George, and the second one's name was Bill. George said, "Have you got a piece of paper and envelope, Bill?" Bill said, "Yes, I have," and he gave them to him. Then George said, "Now I haven't got a pen." Bill gave him his, and George wrote his letter. Then he put it in the envelope and said, "Have you got a stamp, Bill?" Bill gave him one. Then Bill got up and went to the door, so George said to him, "Are you going out?" Bill said, "Yes, I am," and he opened the door. George said, "Please put my letter in the box in the office." And he stopped. "What do you want now?" Bill said to him. George looked at the envelope of his letter and answered, "What's your girlfriend's address?" Joe Richards finished school when he was 80, and then his father said to him, "You passed your examination now, Joe, and you got good marks in them. Now go and get some good work. They are looking for clever people at the bank in the town. The clerks there get quite a lot of money now." A few days later, Joe went to the bank and asked for work there. A man took him into a small room and gave him some question on the piece of paper. Joe wrote his answer on the paper and then he gave them to the man. The man looked at them for a few minutes and then he took a pen and said to Joe, "Your birthday was on the 12th of June, Mr. Richards." "Yes, sir," Joe said. "What year?" the man asked. "Oh, every year, sir," Joe said.